Let's get into 1.3, multiplication, division of signed numbers. There's our objectives. And let's remind you of a few properties. Commutative property of multiplication says, 2 times 3 is the exact same as 3 times 2. It doesn't matter the order on that. Same thing with addition, right? The commutative property of addition says 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2, right? Associative property of multiplication says 2 times 3 times 4 is the same as if you do 2 times 3 first and then multiply by 4, right? Let's test it. 2 times 12, 24. Let's test it over here. 6 times 4. Sure enough, they're the same thing, right? The associative property of multiplication. And by the way, what does 3 times 4 mean? What does multiplication mean? It means there's 3 sets of 4's being added up. Or there's 4 3's, right? That's what your multiplication means. Well, as we talked about last time, a negative times a positive is a negative, right? Negative 7 times 3 is a negative 21. A real life example. For example, if you make a mortgage payment of $1,000 a month, right? You're losing $1,000. You do it 12 times a year. You're losing out of your pocket $12,000. You are paying, right? Negative 12,000. If same sign when you're multiplying negative times a negative, you get a positive, right? So in real life, if your boss pays your mortgage debt, right? Here's your mortgage debt of $1,000. Your boss is paying it. That would be kind of like a positive. That's a bonus for you, right? It's a bonus, $12,000 in your pocket because you didn't have to pay it. Your boss is paying it for you. So again, I mentioned this last time. Positive times a positive. Good thing happens to a good person is a good thing, and so on, right? Bad thing that happens to a bad person is a good thing. So let's do some quick multiplications. Positive times a negative gives us a negative. Negative times a negative gives us a positive. Negative times a negative gives us a positive. That fourth one there, negative 1 times negative 5 times 6 times 2. Negative 1 times negative 5 is 5. 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times 12 is 60. And then 0 times negative 16 is just 0. 0 times anything is 0. In other words, I have 0 negative 16s right there. I know. So 0 times anything is 0. When you're dividing, right, a positive divided by a positive is still positive. Negative over a positive would be a negative. A positive over a negative is a negative. And finally, a negative divided by a negative would be a positive. So let's do these ones here. 42 divided by negative 7 is negative 6. Negative 39 divided by a negative 3. Negative over a negative is a positive. Negative 72 divided by a positive 9, negative 8. All right, you guys go ahead and type this in. What's 108 divided by 4? Punch it into the chat there. Good. So it's 27. Nice. How about a negative over a negative? Negative 119 divided by negative 7 gives you excellent. Positive. Valerie. 0 divided by anything? Good, Vince. How about 6 divided by 0? 6 divided by 0. Can't do this. This is undefined. All right, can't divide by 0. If you want a better explanation, go ahead and take calculus. But, if you want to pre-calc will even have you give you a decent. And if you're thinking about, if I'm dividing by a number, like let's let x be 1, right? 1 divided by 1 is 1, but let's get closer to 0, right? I'm going to pick x values that go this way. 1 divided by a half gives us 2. If I pick like a third for x, 1 divided by a third gives me 3. And what's happening is as I get closer and closer to 0, I'll never touch 0. I can't divide by 0, it just shoots me up. If you look at that behavior, that's kind of a quick little explanation of you can't divide by 0. Again, if you want a real thorough explanation, take Math 126 and Math 181. All right, let's get into some more here. -6 times 3, you want to go ahead and multiply the numerators first. And then a negative divided by a negative is going to give you a positive, right? Here, and you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to say, let's go -24 over -12. What does that give us? Negative over negative, positive, right? So I have -3 over -2 times 2, or 2 over 1. And now I'm going to multiply numerators. -3 times 2, -6. Denominators, -2 times 1, -2. -6 over a -2 is a positive 3. I think that's enough to get you guys kind of started on this. If you guys go ahead and jump into that homework there, that'd be great.